going on, folks? This is Mr. Coleon Noir, and today what I want to do is I want to revisit my Philly EDC custom Kydex holsters. I've ran these holsters for about a week and a half now, and what I want to do now is kind of basically go over my impressions and what my thoughts are on running these holsters for the time that I have. Initially, as I ran this holster, I ran it as an inside the waistband holster, and I was running it at about, I want to say about 4 o'clock. And at the 4 o'clock position, I'm right-handed. And I was really interested in seeing how these belt loops worked out for the holsters, because usually I'm usually accustomed to running clips on my Kydex holsters. So I was really interested to see how this was going to work out for me. And to be honest with you, it wasn't exceptional, but it was really good. One of the things that I do like about it is that it kind of minimizes the profile of the holster whenever you are carrying it concealed, because a lot of times some clips are really too big, they're too intrusive, and what ends up happening is, yeah, you're concealing your gun, but it still looks like you have a big bulge on the side of your pants because the clip is coming through the actual shirt. So what I like about this, the belt loops, what they allow to do is they basically allow for a more discreet carry. And then on top of that, what I really like about the belt loops is the fact that they're really adjustable. What they allow you to do for the most part is, if you want to run it at a cant, you can run it at a cant. If you want to run it higher, you can run it high. If you want to run it low, you can run it low. It provides the ability to do that. And as we all know in America, we love our options, and this holster gives you options. If I could unscrew this and drop it down here to have it run the gun a little bit higher, or if I wanted to run it really deep concealment, I can drop some of these into these holes as well. And I really like that about the belt loops, that you don't get as far as the clips are concerned. Now, with this particular holster style and this design and this setup, it does tend to move a little bit more than you would have with the clip. And to be honest with you, initially I noticed it, but it was nothing that was a deal breaker in my book. But what I will say is this: the reason why this thing moves the way it does is because it's more fitted for appendix carry. As an appendix, as an inside the waistband regular holster running at a 3, 4 o'clock, even 5 or 4:30 position, this holster is really good. But as an appendix carry, this holster is exceptional. I absolutely loved it from an appendix carry standpoint. I usually don't run appendix because it's hard for me to find a holster that actually fits to the point where I feel comfortable running it appendix. Usually I'm fighting with the holster's fighting with me, and so forth and so on. But what this holster does is, considering the design and the location of the belt loop, of the loop here, what it does is allows the holster to adjust with the way you move. So if I'm sitting a certain kind of way, it gives the holster just enough give to rotate or do whatever it needs to do to get it out of your way without jabbing you. And a lot of times with the appendix carry, you have a hard time when it comes to sitting. That really wasn't too much the case with this particular holster. So I found myself running this more as an appendix carry than I did your basic traditional inside the waistband at the 3 or 9 o'clock position. So I was really happy with that. So for the most part, I really have to say, as an in the waistband basic straight up holster, it's really good. But as an appendix carry holster, I'd have to say it's exceptional. I really love the design, and I love the attention to detail in this particular holster. The retention in this holster is perfect. It's not too much, it's not too little. It does exactly what it needs to do. And to be honest with you, another thing that this belt loop, this loop provides is the fact that whenever you're running this holster, or whenever you're running clip holsters, sometimes what tends to happen is your clip isn't clipped securely enough against your belt. A lot of times you'll pull your gun out and the holster will come out right along with it. So you find yourself having to run a very light retention based holster, which is not always a good idea. And with this, you don't really have to worry about that because this wraps around your belt. And whether it's tight, loose, super tight, the gun's gonna come out and the holster's gonna stay exactly where it needs to be. And I really like that about this. But even withstanding that, the retention on this holster is perfect. Even without the belt loops, I really honestly think that this particular holster would do just fine as far as getting my gun out without bringing the holster with it, but then also keeping it retained. So I have to really give a big ups to Philly EDC, and this is actually gonna become one of my favorite holsters because now I can carry the appendix. Now, what's so great about appendix, you say? Well, with appendix carry, I've learned that concealing appendix is a lot easier a lot of the times than running it at a 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock position. And so for me, with the way I dress sometimes, this gives me more options in terms of how I can carry my gun. As far as the outside the waistband holster from Philly EDC, I have to say that I didn't really get to run it as much as I wanted to, simply because for me, to run outside the waistband, I think you're gonna have to layer more. I tend to run around in t-shirts here in Texas because it's like 100 billion degrees outside. So since it is so hot, I'm usually just in a t-shirt, and most of my t-shirts aren't really that big or baggy. So I find myself not really in a position to run this holster without printing the holster. Now granted, my firearm isn't printing. It does a great job of keeping it against my body and not seeing my firearm, but let's be very clear. A holster is a holster is a holster. We all know what a holster is for. So if you can still see the holster, then I mean, you have an idea that, okay, this person probably has a gun. So I tended to run with this inside the waistband skeleton holster more than I did with the outside the waistband holster. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold on to this and wait till the winter time comes. And the reason I say that is this: during the winter time, we get some nasty, wet, and cold days here in Texas. So what that would allow me to do is be able to layer things and be able to wear this while I'm wearing a jacket or layered up with multiple shirts and things of that nature, and I'll be in a better position to run this holster the way I want to and see how it actually works out. So what I want to do now is basically, I want to wait. I'm going to wait till the winter time comes when it gets a little colder and we get to wear more clothes, and then run this inside the waistband, outside the waistband holster, and then go ahead and give you my review on that. But in the meantime, I have to say that this particular holster, the Philly EDC skeleton in the waistband / appendix holster, is a win. I think but for anything else, if you're going to run appendix, this is the holster you really need to have in your arsenal. I am a guy who is I'm a man of many holsters. I like different holsters for different reasons. I sometimes even run a cheapo Uncle Mike's holster whenever I'm running with sweatpants or something like that, where there's nothing for the holster to snag on whenever I need it to. So in an arsenal of holsters, this is a perfect addition as far as an appendix carry and even inside the waistband carry, because like I said before, inside the waistband basic carry, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock position, it was good. It was really good. It just wasn't exceptional. But as an appendix carry, this was exceptional. So shout out to Philly EDC on making great holsters, high quality, no complaints on my end as far as I'm concerned. And that's going to be my take on the Philly EDC holsters, or at least the appendix inside the waistband holster. I'm going to give some time, let the winter time come around, and then I'll go ahead and run this for about a week and then see what I think about it, and then I'll get back to you guys and let you know. Alright folks, that's Mr. Coleon Noir, and I'm out.